I find mythology fascinating and folklores. And as I started to research them, because I try to dig around in more than one resource, it's amazing to see how each one has something different, but they also echo each other. So I keep digging and digging and digging until like I get a core thing. So when I was writing the Cedric series, I finally got to the point in research that I started setting down what I wanted and what I didn't want to kind of fine tune what kind of research I was going to pull into my story. So I aimed mainly for 12th century or older, the Middle Ages, medieval bestiaries, and stuff like that. So eventually I got to the point where I was cherry picking what I wanted. And once I cherry picked everything and I laid those cards out on the table, I'm like, how can I stitch this together? But once you get ready for your imagination and stitching things together, you have to start looking at that mythology that you've pulled in as a character. This is a person I'm creating. So you have to, like, what's their voice? Yeah, I may know what their plot is because of the mythology that's there, but how did they feel? What were the dreams they had before their fate took over? And how did they feel when these things started happening to them? So you have to come back to the senses a little bit. How did they feel? How did they perceive these things going on? And that is where the imagination comes in. That's where it goes from based off of a reference, whether it's historical, whether it's mythology of the sorts, and you create your own fictional character, because it's that vehicle that you're putting the reader in, and that's what's going to give them the emotions, the taste, the smells, the sights, the perception that they need to tell the story. And when it comes to my readers, I hope that they find themselves like sitting in a Greek mythology or a Roman mythology course, and the teacher's like drolling on that beginning lecture, and they stop and they're like, wait a minute, like, I remember this, I was there for it. Like, I want them to feel like more emotionally connected to mythology on a personal plane because of the character they rode with. And they can, I've already had a college student be like, I was sitting in Roman mythology for summer class, and the teacher started talking about Romulus and Remus, and I realized you gave me information that I didn't know I retained. So I shared what I knew from your novel, and the teacher was blown away. I knew their mother's name. I knew they founded Rome. I knew which brother died, and that there was like 6 different things that happened to lead up to his death. And I want the readers to feel surprised and prideful about what they take home with them, and expose like those forgotten snippets of history. For instance, I had an email come in, and they're like, is it true that alchemists back in the Middle Ages all went by the name Hermes? Like, I've never heard of this. So I sent him links on Hermetism and stuff like that. Totally blew his mind because it's just something you don't come across. So that's sort of what I hope when I add those snippets into there.